Hey guys, Ali Duzette here, and it is day 5 of the 2023 April Eclipse portal, a 2-week period where we are all massively up-leveling spiritually, and I'm just excited that you're here. We are working on boundary energies this week and using the power of the Eclipse portal to help propel us forward in our personal growth with them. We have the opportunity for 18 months worth of growth during this 2 weeks. And so we are going to see for ourselves how we are stretched and grown over the next few days, especially in the area of boundaries and the relationship between boundaries and security. Today, I want to talk about physical body boundaries. Aries is the energy of the physical body, and this past eclipse that just took place on April 19th was in Aries. And so this is especially appropriate. What are our physical body boundaries? I'm going to say your skin and your bubble. Get out of my bubble. my 4-year-old at church, she kept getting in her Sunday school teacher's bubble, and I'm friends with her Sunday school teacher, and she said, your daughter just kept on getting up in my space. And I finally said, honey, this is my bubble. You can't get into my bubble. And my 4-year-old went, I just ate your bubble, which I love. Anyway, but even if my 4-year-old tries to eat your bubble, it doesn't matter. People can't eat other people's bubbles. You have a bubble, and it is important that people honor your bubble. Violations of the physical body are extremely serious, and today is a great day to work on healing them. And I know that this is like so much bigger than you probably expected to jump into when you clicked on this video. But some examples of physical body boundary violations are obviously going to be abuse, especially sexual abuse and occult abuse. People touching you when you don't want to be touched, being forced to hug people, and having your body be stuck in situations where you can't escape. When I wrote that, I had like this little flashback to a situation where, I was on this like trip and with a bunch of people, and a bunch of people had kind of conspired on purpose to make sure that I had to be in this one person's car that I didn't get along with. And I had to sit in the front seat, and it was like, that's the only way. And it was very traumatic. I did not want my body there, but the choice was like be stuck in the wilderness or drive home alone with this weirdo. And that felt like a physical body boundary violation, gross. And so we have all experienced situations of physical body boundary violations. And today I wanted to bring your attention to those times. This is extremely big stuff. And if you have a history of sexual abuse or ritual abuse, I'm going to recommend these modules. They're at aliduzetclasses.com. Healing from Ritual Abuse is $15 for the 15 sessions inside of it. And this one is by donation. And I think if you just do enough sessions in general, it naturally unlocks. So you don't have to pay for this one. If you just go do some other sessions that are in like the free offerings, it will unlock for you. But I think the minimum donation is like $5 or something. So very worth it. All sexual abuse is also ritual abuse, but not all ritual abuse is sexual abuse. So if you have dealt with sexual abuse, you want both of these. And then, of course, if you have done ritual abuse, I recommend both of these also. But these are going to be really helpful to you during this Eclipse portal, especially because we're dealing with issues of boundaries. And this is the greatest boundary violation that you can experience. Today's a great day to work on healing that. Physical body boundary violations are not okay. And if you have been making excuses for physical body boundary violations, it is safe to stop that and shift your thinking today. No, you did not make someone punch you in the face. No, you didn't make someone abuse you or assault you. I'm thinking of my best friend in high school. One of my best friends, she came to me one day and she's like, Allie, I was raped last night. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm calling the police. And she's like, no, it's not a big deal. I kind of, she just kind of like made excuses for it. And I don't think she ever did call the police, but I was just like, whoa, dude, this is not okay. Like, you can't make excuses for this. We're not making excuses anymore. Okay. If you are a victim of domestic abuse, domestic violence, this is me telling you, guess what? Someone punching you in the face, your husband punching you in the face is not your fault. That is his fault. And you need to call the police. Okay. Like, hello, let's be real about this. Physical body boundary violations are not okay. If you are being physically harmed, that is not okay. And today is the day where I am inviting you to stop your delusional thinking and realize that these things are abuse and that is not okay. Abuse is Not okay. I wanted to also talk about when you have been the violator of other people's physical body boundaries, because I think almost everyone has been on both sides of the coin to some degree or another. You know, I was forced to hug my terrifying great grandparents. I was so scared of them. I mean, geez, my great grandpa looked like a corpse and I had to hug him and I was like, I will die. But I did hug him under duress. I still count it as a traumatic memory. I can remember every time I touched him and I hated it. And I mean, like nothing, you know, nothing creepy happened or something. He's my grandpa and I hugged him, my great grandpa, but like I didn't want to and I hated it. And then as a young parent, I've made my kids hug people they didn't want to hug, and I don't do that anymore. But you know, I have been the one that was forced to hug someone I didn't want to hug, and then I forced someone else to hug someone that they didn't want to hug. And I think if we sit down and go through our own memories, we will find that we have had our physical body boundaries violated, and perhaps we have also violated other people's physical body boundaries. I'm suddenly having a flashback to a time when I paid for my son to have to go to gymnastics class, and then he decided he didn't want to go, and I had to physically pick him up and carry him into the car. And he was like as big as me; he was like 9 or 10, and I'm 5'4". He was like 5 feet tall, and I like had to pick him up and put him in the car and like lock him in the car and drive away before he could get out of the car. And I'm like, no. And after that, like as I drove him there, I was like, yeah, this was not okay. Like, this was not okay. Yeah, I paid for this class. Yeah, it was expensive. And it's not okay to pick up someone who is old enough to know what they want. I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like obviously when you have like a 4-year-old, sometimes you just gotta pick them up and stick them in the car because you have to go do the thing. But there gets to be a point as your children mature where suddenly that does become a boundary violation. I don't think it's a boundary violation when they're children. Like if your kid needs a diaper change and they don't want one, sometimes you just got to change the diaper. But there gets to be a point, like when they're 14, you know, maybe it's not okay for you to physically force them to do body care and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Anyway, today is the day to be honest with yourself about where you have touched people when they didn't want to be touched. And I'm not talking about just inappropriate touch, but just like any touch. You know, have you hugged someone who didn't want a hug? When have you violated other people's bodily autonomy, even if that wasn't your intention? Today's the day to just be aware of it. And tomorrow we're going to work on forgiving ourselves and forgiving other people around these issues. But today is just a day to bring this into our awareness so that we can start to clear it. We're going to do some tapping. Go ahead and take out your tapping fingers and say with me, I recognize the times my body has been violated, and I recognize that this was not okay. I honor the emotions of my physical body relating to physical body boundary violation. It can be safe today for me to feel my feelings around my past experiences with physical body boundary violation. Today, everything is working out so I can fully feel these feelings and let them go. I honor the times I have violated other people's physical body boundaries, and I open my heart to knowing how to heal from these events as well. Go ahead and put your hands on your heart and breathe it in. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing a lot of work on forgiveness. And I just wanted to invite you today to breathe and feel your feelings. And I wanted to invite you to avoid stories. Okay, your job is to feel feelings and not tell stories. So if you have to think of stories, then I invite you to make the story that you tell yourself a story about your body in this moment. An example would be, I feel tension in my pelvis. I feel pressure behind my eyes. The pressure is growing behind my eyes. I feel stress in my abdomen. I feel a tightness in my chest. Okay, that's the kind of story to tell yourself as you feel your feelings. The kind of story is not, this person hurt me and it wasn't fair. I was just a child. I shouldn't exist. That person shouldn't exist. That's not the right story. The right story is, I feel pain. I feel stress. I feel sorrow. I feel sad. That's the right story. So tell the story of your body in this moment. And that is your job today. We're going to work on forgiveness tomorrow. And if you're new around here, I really invite you to go to allyduzetclasses.com and sign up for the free offerings and the foundational sessions. That is going to be very helpful to you. So come on back tomorrow so we can work on our forgiveness work. Hang out with me on Facebook at Intuitive Healing with Ally Duzet. this is my book on boundaries. It's on Amazon, and I'm going to recommend that to everybody. It's totally optional. You definitely do not need it to benefit from this series I'm doing for the Eclipse portal, but I think you would get a lot out of it if you choose to work through it. So thank you so much for being here. You are a hero for facing this hard stuff. It's hard, and I just admire you so much, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow.